The latest on the coronavirus emergency. In the past 24 hours, there have been more than 21,000 new reported cases and over 1,000 new deaths in the United States. At least 14 states reported an increase in cases, but there's hope for hard-hit New York City, inching closer to taking the first steps towards reopening. Eva Pilgrim joins us now with the latest. Good morning, Eva.
Good morning, Michael. New York City is preparing to reopen, and the mayor here says he's confident that the city will be ready in a matter of weeks.
This morning, concerns over how to keep workers safe as America reopens. The mayor of New York City saying phase one is likely to begin in the next 2 weeks, with 200 to 400,000 New Yorkers returning to work. New York Governor Cuomo Thursday signing an executive order authorizing private businesses to deny entry to people without face coverings.
That store owner has a right to protect themselves. That store owner has a right to protect the other patrons in that store.
This as we're learning of more outbreaks at food packing plants, hotspots for the virus. One fruit packing plant in Washington state announcing 70 employees recently tested positive for COVID-19. 61 of the cases were asymptomatic. The company's CEO pointing to a breakdown of wearing masks and social distancing when employees were on their breaks.
We could have done better. I think through this process, we learned that we didn't do enough. And I sure hope that through our experience, which obviously has been very painful for many, that others will learn from it.
And at the Tyson Foods plant in Sherman, Texas, more than 300 employees tested positive for the virus, more than 20% of that plant's workers. 49 have been cleared to return back to work. But as some are preparing to head back into the fray, more than 40 million Americans are out of work. 2.1 million people filing new unemployment claims last week, 40 million in the last 10 weeks. Around the country, people waiting in line for food that stretches as far as the eye can see. As some states try to return to normalcy, Texas's Governor Abbott announcing overnight that fans will be allowed at professional sporting events in most counties at 25% capacity starting today. Meanwhile, others still canceling events. The Boston Marathon, which was postponed earlier this year, canceled for the first time in its 124-year history.
And health officials in the Atlanta area are investigating cases that could possibly be tied to graduation parties, but they haven't been able to figure out the size of that cluster because many are reluctant to talk, showcasing the issue with tracing. It is dependent on people cooperating. Amy?
Yeah, it's so complicated. Eva, thank you so much. Well, Dr. Jennifer Ashton is going to join us now. And Dr. Ashton, let's start with that headline that comes out of Washington state saying that nearly half of all new cases are people under the age of 40. What does that tell us, and what should we be keeping in mind as we head into the weekend and summer?
Well, Amy, it's a reminder that no one is at zero risk from this virus. Unclear exactly why it's hitting this age group right now, particularly hard. Leading theories are it's due to behavior, either socializing or work. But again, it really underscores how everyone has a role to play in stopping this spread because anyone can get infected.
Yeah, it's so important to remember that. And there's also a new study that was released about COVID-19 and people with cancer. What were the findings and what can we learn from it?
Yeah, very important study, Amy, just out in the journal Lancet, looked at about 900 patients with cancer in the U.S., Canada, Spain, and what they found was that in 30 days after diagnosis with COVID, they faced a 13% mortality rate. That is more than double the average global rate. So it's a reminder this is a special and vulnerable population with a compromised immune system, and it's possible that this kind of data could potentially lead to differences in screening or either treatments for both COVID and patients dealing with cancer in the setting of this pandemic.
All right, Dr. Jen Ashton, as always, thank you so much.
Well, hey there, GMA fans. Robin Roberts here. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Lots of great stuff here. So go on, click the subscribe button right over here to get more of awesome videos and content from GMA every day, anytime. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the morning on GMA.